Hey guys, Chris here from PNW Brews. Welcome back to another homebrew video. Today is Tuesday and it is a homebrew day. I'm just getting ready to start my batch here right now. I just went to my local homebrew store, Batter Beer and Wine Supplies here in Vancouver, Washington. Great store, check it out. Going for a brown ale today, one of my favorites. So, grain bill, we got 4 pounds of Vienna, 4 pounds of Munich, 1.5 of Cara 40, half pound of Special B, and a half pound of brown. Hops, just going for a simple 1 ounce addition of Liberty at 60 minutes for bittering hops. Then using a new yeast that my homebrew store just got. It's the Imperial Organic. Supposedly has 200 billion yeast cells in it. I'm just going with their simple house yeast, so should be good. So excited to try it out. So for brew day, I typically use Beersmith app that I got on my iPad. Super handy. You can type in all your ingredients, everything. It has the timers, tells you all of your water additions, temperatures, everything. It tells you exactly what your beer is going to come out like, the IBUs, the gravities, the color. It's great. It's fun just to kind of tweak around with if you're trying to create your own recipes. So right now I got my strike water heated up here on the stove. According to Beersmith, shooting for 3.3 gallons at 168.2. I'm currently at 158.2, so just a ways to go, and then we're going to dough in, so I'll check back in with you then. Alright guys, looks like our strike water is almost up to temp. We are at 166.0. One thing I like to do, I heated up just some water in a tea kettle, brought it to a boil, added it to the mash tun, close the lid, just kind of heat up the mash tun so it's not quite a shock to the temperature. This kind of helps when you're trying to hit your temperature marks not to have a cold mash tun, and it has been cold here lately, so wanted to get that heated up. But yeah, so we're a couple minutes away, so when I come back I'll be doing in. Alright guys, looks like we are up to temp. We were actually at about 169, which is about 0.8 over. I think we should be looking good. So main thing, make sure your valve is closed on your mash tun. I'm about to add in the strike water right now. Alright, strike water's in. I got my spoon sanitized, so time to start going in. This is a little tough with one person, I would say, but it is doable. Okay. So you're going to want to just slowly add in, kind of stir as you're adding. Smells like the best oatmeal you'll ever eat. Anyway, so we are all doughed in. We are at temp. We are in the mash tun, and Beersmith is counting down right now. So we started at 47 minutes. I think we got about at least another 40 minutes to go or so before we start mashing out. So I'll check back in with you then. Alright guys, so before I get too carried away, it's time for the all-important step of cracking a homebrew while you homebrew. So this is my first batch I did. It was just brown ale. Got the recipe from my local homebrew store. So for this one, I'm kind of using the same recipe, just kind of doing my own little minor tweaks, going for a little more maltiness, hopefully on this next one. But yeah, not bad for first batch. So looks like our mash is almost timed out here. The next step on Beersmith calls for a 2-minute rise. So it says to add 5.25 quarts of water at 202 degrees F. That's what I'm heating up right now. We are getting pretty close. Looks like we're about 190. Yeah, we're heating up quick here. All right. Okay, so we're gonna add this in, stir it around for 2 minutes, and then we are going to start draining into our boil kettle. All right, so we got the boil kettle it's clean and sanitized. Our mash out water is up to temp. We're gonna add this in. Smelling good. All right. Okay, that's in. Another thing that's a big helper, spray bottle with the star sand. Comes in handy big time here. So I'm going to stir this back in. Alright, so we added in the mash out water, raise the temp up a little bit. Let it sit for 2 minutes. It's time to start the first runnings here. So it's gonna be my first time trying this, but I'm gonna try and put this Tupperware lid, set it in the mash tun. That's gonna be for when I'm recirculating, just to try not to disturb the grain bed too much. So I haven't tried it that way yet, so we will see how that works. So time to start Vorloff. All right, so we're starting the Vorloff process. I got my little pitcher here, so we're just going to slowly crack the valve. Some good flow. I don't know if you can see in the video or not, but it's pretty cloudy looking. Not really seeing any chunks coming through, which is good, but definitely cloudy. So you're going to do this multiple times to get some nice clear flow coming out. So yeah, just nice steady flow, not too fast. Then you're going to gently recirculate it back into the mash tun and keep repeating.
So I think you can see that in the video there. You can see some little pieces of, grain and stuff floating around in there. So that's what this process, the Vorloffing, that's what we're shooting to get rid of all that. So we'll check in at the end and see how clear it looks.
Alright, so this is about my 5th pitcher. I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, but it's definitely running a lot clear. It has a real nice amberish brown color to it. Exactly what I was hoping for. So yeah, I think this is probably gonna be my last pitcher. Then I'll start draining this off into the boil kettle. I have my sparge water heating up to 168 right now. About another 3.5 gallons we'll be adding to it. So yep, it's looking good. Probably take a gravity read here, just to make sure that we're in the vicinity. So you can see from that first one there is nothing. I mean, it's hard to tell, but this is running super clear. Alright, so Vorloff is done. Did probably 5 or 6 pitchers, running super clear. So sanitize the nozzle here. I got my sanitized hose. We're gonna start. We're gonna do our first runnings into our boil kettle here. I got the sparge water right here heating up. So as soon as this is done, we should be at temp and ready to sparge. So let's hook this up. Can never be too cautious. Okay, I'm gonna open it up. Not too fast. Alright, so we are flowing. Alright, so here's more of a close-up view. Draining from the mash tun. Drain down into the boil kettle. So this kettle actually has some gallon increments on the side, so I'll be able to tell the first runnings, how much we get. So I think I'm shooting probably for around a 7-gallon boil volume, so hopefully I make it there. Strike water's heating up. Right now we're at 157. Another 10 degrees to go there, and we'll be sparging. Alright guys, so our sparge water is ready. We are up to temp, 168.4. Pretty much right on the dot. So, got the mash tun down here on the ground. Gonna try and carefully pick this hot water up and dump it into the mash. And there we go. So I checked Beersmith. We're actually shooting for a boil volume of 6.52. Looks like our first runnings got us just over about 3. So I'm hoping this sparge should get us up to the 6.5 that we are looking for. So. Got the sparge water in, sanitized spoon. We're gonna give her a stir, get it all reincorporated here. So I'll probably skip the next session of vorloffing. So just repeat that same process. We'll do the vorloff 4, 5, 6 times, then start draining the rest into the boil kettle here. And by the way, the lid for the Tupperware sitting in there worked great. Really dispersed all the water, didn't get any holes going straight down. So great little trick there. All right, so I'll check back in once I'm draining the sparge. Alright guys, so this was the final vorloff from the sparge. So you can tell, looking nice and clear. It is a little lighter in color than the first runnings. But overall, I think it should be pretty good. Happy with the color. So time to drain the rest into the boil pot and get boiling. Hey guys, so we just finished draining the sparge into the boil kettle. Looks like we are, I would say probably just maybe between 6.5 and 7 gallons, right where we want to be. So I'm going to use my thief here. I'm going to take a sample to put in the fridge for a gravity read later. Kind of tricky. Okay, might need more than that. Alright, so this is final product. So nice color. So I'm going to put it in the fridge, check the gravity read on that once it gets down to ambient temp. And then I'm going to take the boil kettle out to the burner and get the boil going. Alright, we got it on the burner. Flame on. And so just waiting for that boil.
keep a close eye. Gotta watch for boil over, of course. So yeah, I'll check back in with you once we're ready to add the first edition hops. All right, guys. So we're on our way to boil. You can kind of see some of that foam kind of gathering up there. So you know you're getting close here. So keep a close eye on it and get ready to cut the heat. Start getting ready to boil over here. Alright guys, well it's kind of hard to tell here, but we just got back past the hop break. Wasn't too bad. So we're sitting at a nice boil. So it's time for the first and only hop edition. So here we go. Alright. Gonna mix those in and then see you back in about 50 minutes. Alright guys, so we are at the 50-minute mark of the boil here. It's time I'm going to add in some Irish moss, which is supposed to help with clarifying. So I'm going to add in ½ teaspoon for a 5-gallon batch. So I'm going to do that here right now. Alright, that's in. Also, I'm going to throw in the wort chiller just to sanitize it and get that ready for cooling down the wort. Alright, and goes the wort chiller. Definitely need to be careful of those hoses so they don't touch and start melting on you. So, alright, so we'll be checking back in with you here probably in about 8 or 9 minutes, and we will start cooling the wort. Alright. Alright guys, so the boil is complete. Burner's off, and we are currently chilling. So we got the immersion wort chiller in right now, hooked up to the sink, blasting it with some hot, cold water. Looks like we're down to 180 degrees right now. This is kind of where the sit and wait begins here. Probably looking to get around 75, probably below 75. And we'll transfer our fermenter and pitch our yeast. So yeah, tune back in. Got about another 100 degrees to go here. So alright, sit tight. So just a little tip here, once you get, you're starting to get down in temp here pretty quick, kind of starts to slow down your temperature drop. One thing that I found that helps is to just kind of slowly kind of move, maybe bob up and down, kind of slide the chiller back and forth. Nothing doesn't have to be too vigorous or anything. But I just did this for just a couple minutes and got probably a 30 to 40 minute drop. So yeah, it just kind of keeps everything moving around in there and just kind of chills the whole sum of it a lot quicker. So currently down to 128. So that was, you know, about a 100-degree drop there in probably under 5 minutes. So looks like we're chilling down pretty quick here. So. Alright, so we are now chilled. I got down to about 69 degrees pretty quick here. Winter weather is definitely helping out with that. Okay, so the next step is my 5-gallon bucket down here. I got my strainer set up, so looks like I have about 5.5, maybe 5.25 gallons of wort here. This is only a 5-gallon, or 6-gallon actually, so I might be alright, but it might be a tight squeeze. Yeah, so I usually do a nice tall pour down through the filter, help get any leftover debris or any hop debris or whatever. I kind of do a taller, more aggressive pour to help aerate. So I'll try and get some footage of that here. After that, then I will dump this into the fermenter, probably with another higher aggressive pour to help
get some oxygen in there. So, all right, here we go. All right. Alright, so I don't know if you noticed earlier, I used a little hot bag, and that usually helps a lot with the debris. So actually pretty much just some little pieces of grain and stuff, but actually not that much at all. So next step, I'm going to transfer from this 6-gallon bucket into the 8-gallon fermenter. Going to pitch the yeast, throw the lid on with the airlock, and call it a wrap. So here we go. All right, got some good oxidation in there. Here, give you a little close up here. This new yeast, Imperial Organic. So it's supposed to have about 3 times as many yeast cells as your normal yeast kit. So here we go. All right, so we are in the primary fermenter. Airlock's on. Looks like we are just over, probably about 5 1/4, maybe 5 1/3 gallons. Perfect amount. Yeast is pitched. We're at perfect temp. Looks like we're at 68 degrees. So yeah, now we wait. So I'll probably let this sit in primary for 7 to 10 days. I'll probably do another video of transferring from primary to secondary. Then after that, we'll be bottling. So looks like just got some cleanup ahead of me, and yeah. So overall, solid brew day. Hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe for more future videos, or leave any comments if there's anything that you'd like to see in the future. All right, cheers.